श्रीकांत सर एक बार अपना स्क्रीन शेयर करके देखेंगे।
क्या करना है मुझे?
स्क्रीन सर अपना एक बार शेयर कीजिए।
स्क्रीन शेयर करें, ओके।
लेट अस चेक वेदर इट इज विजिबल और
शेयर
नॉट।
करें इसकी।
लेट मी
ओके,
yes, yes sir, it is visible.
ओके।
Checking done.
अल्पना, इसमें कैसे होता है कि एक साइड में चलता रहे, हम दूसरे साइड में वहां भी देखते रहे? नहीं, यहाँ क्या किया आपने? नेक्स्ट स्लाइड तो हो गया, वो तो चला गया, उन्हें साइड में दिखता रहता है ना तो।
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our session number 5, which will be given by Dr. Shrikant. And I take this opportunity to introduce Professor Shrikant to everyone. Dr. Shrikant has received his PhD in Applied Mathematics from Applied Mathematics Department of Institute of Technology, Banaras Hindu University in 1981. He started his career as technical assistant with Joint Cipher Bureau of Armed Force Headquarters, which is modus operandi under defense in since October 1981, and thereafter he moved to Scientific Analysis Group (SAG) of DRDO as a scientist in 1985 and served there in various capacity. And again he was sent to Joint Cipher Bureau as coordinator in 2008. And he brought JCP into DRDO as one of its laboratory in 2018, and he became the first director of Joint Cipher Bureau. He got superannuated from SAG in December 2015. During his about 35 years of service at AFHQ and DRDO, he has completed many projects and was on the board of several defense programs. He is recipient of several commendation certificates from SA to RM and the Best Scientist of the Year Lab Award for exhibiting excellence in pattern recognition application to cryptology. Dr. Shrikant has received his PhD in Applied Mathematics from BHU in 1981, and then he started his career as technical assistant. During about his 35 years of service, he completed many projects. So with that, and he is also the head of Center for Cybersecurity and Cryptology at Sharda University. Under his guidance, we all the members, me, myself, Dr. Alpna, Dr. Nihar Ranjan Roy, and Dr. Amrita has learned a lot, and we continue to learn from him. And I am very sure that you will have a very different experience when you go through this presentation, because sir has a very first-hand experience of being there, doing cryptology for his entire life, and then he is passing on his expertise to us. And we ensure, sir, that we will do our best to learn whatever we can. And I request my participants also to ask questions in between if you have any, and learn from him. Sir, the platform is yours. Please deliver your lecture, sir.
May I start now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hennes, for a nice introduction of mine. Students or participants, are you listening me?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, yes.
I would like to ask you that since yesterday, since 2nd of January, you have listened so many good speakers. So, what is your opinion? How do you feel that you are really getting something here?
Hello, sir.
That
Yeah. It's getting well now. We are getting everything, and the lectures we have got is very nicely, and some
okay,
we have some confusions, but we will take it the later.
okay. Please kindly note down all your confusion. We will keep one session only for this purpose.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Don't worry about that. Okay. So, with this brief introduction, I would like to start my talk today. Actually, today I want to tell you that how the journey of cryptography started and how it has developed and what is the stage today. So after that, other parts will be taken by my other colleagues also. So this is all about my talk today. If you look at, so I have set the agenda for
Sorry to interrupt
today
you,
lecture.
sir. Your PPT is not playing.
PPT is not.
It's playing in full screen mode. We can see only the normal view of the PPT. The full
It is a
screen
full
view is
screen.
not visible to us.
Look at why it is not full screen. Can you take from here? Yes, now it is full screen.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Why? Have full screen only. Okay. Now it is visible, full screen?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Fine, okay.
Yes, sir, fine, visible.
Good. So, for today's discussion, this is the agenda. What is, how the cryptography begins? What some examples, it is not possible to discuss the complete scenario, but some examples I will put here and there. And then initially it was in the form of a book cipher system. I will throw some light there. And then mathematical foundation, which is already Dr. Alpana Mishra has covered a beginning. And without mathematics, this cryptography cannot grow. You cannot take a right shape for making you fully secure. That is the point. And then some classical system, I will throw light on that. Then modern cryptographic system. What is modern cryptographic system? I will let you know. And then analysis vs design. There was a war between designer and cryptanalyst always. Who have succeeded and when? So there is a, and it is happened only because of the computing power in hand. So this is my agenda for discussion today. Look at this graph. If you look at the beginning means when this civilization started, right? 4,000 years ago. At that time also the cryptography are in use. So we can make a statement that history of cryptography is as old as our civilization itself. After that, Middle Age came. Middle Age between, you can say, between 400 BC to somewhere 1000 AD. That is the Middle Age we are calling. And then cryptography in the Renaissance. There is no work maybe some work have been done by people, but it is not reported in the literature anywhere. And that period was from 1200 AD to almost 1700 AD. No work is properly reported there. And 1800, from 1800 to World War II, it was actual cryptography started. And it was used in wars and in civilization, in various type of communication where the people wanted to keep it secret. And then modern cryptography has really started after the World War II. Though it was some aspects were there also developed earlier, but actual modern cryptography got developed only after World War II, after the invention of a lot of computing power and computers has gone used by many people. So that was the actual cryptographic ages. Now, if you look at, I'm going from that ladder only. What ladder I have shown you, I will go on discussing each ladder. I will go on discussing each ladder one by one. So this is the same thing you are finding my other ladders also. Classical cryptography. The history of cryptography begins thousands of years ago. Until recent decades, it has been the story of what might be called classical cryptography. That's why I'm putting a word, classical cryptography. Okay. And that is the method of encryption that use pen and paper only. There are no use of computer. And that's why it is called classical, or perhaps simple mechanical adds. Okay. Then this is the earliest, first use of cryptography you can see. And what is has been done here? It was just 4,500 years ago. It was the information they keep, they write on a clay, and then they put it somewhere near his kingdom. It is the information about the previous kings, and it is only understood by the people of that kingdom. So this was the one first cryptographic application was made, and that is we are calling it a non-standard hieroglyphs. That is called non-standard hieroglyphs. This was the first cryptography known in history, and that is 4,500 year old. Some other things has been also seen, that is called clay tablets. And they are clearly meant to protect information. They encrypt recipes, presumably commercially valuable. No, recipes is very important. It was earlier, later, from the beginning. So they wanted to preserve the recipes of their food system on a clay. They write it, and they write and put it in a cryptographic form. This was the second example. And then there was around 2,500 years ago, 7th century. In 7th century, it was they take some sort of wood, and around the wood they pass some paper, and on paper they write the information, then they open it. After opening, it becomes jumbled. The receiver, unless he has the same size of the that wood log, he will not be able to read the information, and this is called skytel. This was called skytel. It was just 2,500 years ago, in 7th century BC. In 7th BC, it was invented, right? Then sender and recipients, this I told you already how they are doing. Of exactly, the sender would wound a narrow ribbon of parchment around his cylinder, and then they wrote it on it like lengthwise, and after the ribbon is unwound, the writing could be read only by a person who had the cylinder of the exactly same radius. That was the point I made, and this is called skytel. This is the example of skytel. You can see here. Then one cryptography was invented at that time without giving its name, but actually it is it can be also called some sort of transposition that has been done, that has been achieved with the help of SkyTel. You can see the information they wanted to send: kill the king tomorrow midnight. You can see how it is written: killing tomorrow midnight, right? Kill king tomorrow midnight. It is written in a row wise. If you read it column wise, then it is KTM, IOI, IMD, ION, and GWT at the end. And they will send this information. They will send this information. Okay? But receiver knows how it is. He will start writing in this way: KTM, IO, and then read it. So writing column row wise and reading column wise. And opposite in he will write it column wise and read row wise. So that is a sort of very good method, but they do not name it at that time. It was named later as one of the transpositions. Okay. The SkyTel was first mentioned by a Greek poet. This I have already told you. Okay. Then Polybius square. You can see here each letter is represented by its coordinates in the grid. Example BAT. BAT becomes 1, 2, B. B you can see 1, 2. A is 1, 1. And T is where? T is here. 4, 4. So this byte becomes this. This is one sort of cryptography. That is called Polybius square. It was developed at that time. And then the method is named after Julius, in the program named after Julius Caesar, who used it to communicate with his general. The Caesar cipher is an example of what is called a cissp cipher. To encode a message, letters are replaced with the letters that are a fixed number of letters beyond the current letters. That you can see the example. If you see what is happening, the A is getting replaced by D, the B is getting replaced by E, and the C is getting replaced by F. So what is happening? Each letter is getting replaced by its third letter, A, B, C, D, right? So in this way, you are getting a simple substitution cipher, and generally it was called cissp cipher. That was the beginning. But later, this cissp cipher has given a actual working of the cipher it has made, and that we are calling it a additive cipher. And that was the mathematical definition has been given to it. Okay. Again, this, if you look at the previous cipher which I discussed, Caesar cipher, it was monoalphabetic in nature. Monoalphabetic nature means each letter will get only one replacement. Suppose a particular letter appears 3 times in a sentence, so each time that letter will get the same substitute, and that's why the name monoalphabetic substitution cipher. The advanced cipher is a specific case of substitution cipher where the letters of the alphabets are reversed. In other words, all A's are replaced by Z's, all B's replaced by Y's, and so on. This is another type of substitution. So in cryptography, this was the deciphering cryptographic messages circa 850th century. He was a pioneer in the cryptanalysis and cryptology and devised a new method of breaking ciphers, including the frequency analysis method. What is happening? The two methods which I have already discussed with you, in these two methods, each letter is getting replaced by only one letter, always. The term is monoalphabetic. So if you compute the frequency of each letter in the cipher text, not in the plain, I will tell you all the definition also. text, in plain, which letter is highest frequency in the cipher, some other letter will be highly frequent. So what will happen? You can easily recognize if this letter is this. So that's why this type of cryptanalysis method was first done by him. Like you can see, frequency analysis. In plain letter, if you take any plain language of English, you'll find the frequency of the E is the highest, right? This thing will come again. I will explain you. So because of this property of the linguistic, the cryptanalysis become very easy. And this was first invented by the gentleman. Now, and because of this property, that monoalphabetic cipher become vulnerable. And to remove this vulnerability, they have proposed something called polyalphabetic cipher. Means each time a particular letter appears in a plain text, will get a different cipher text. And in this way, a particular letter, suppose A, is getting, suppose this term polyalphabetic, A, do two times. The first time A may get a D, and second time A may get a Q. So that's why the polyalphabetic. So the polyalphabetic cipher was explained by Leon Battista Alberti. He was the first urban person around the years 1467, for which he was called the father of Western cryptography, because he has first invented the breaking of the monoalphabetic cipher and making of a polyalphabetic cipher. This concept was given by Alberti in the 1467 AD. It is not BC, it is AD, and that's why he is called father of the Western cryptology. And now you can see here cipher. Suppose my cipher is plain is students. So yes, what is yes? Yes is X. T is H. Like this plain word, students got converted to this, right? So you can create such many letters through which you can do the encryption. But unless a person knows this table, he will not be able to get the decrypted part of the message. It become cryptography become more secretly more important as a consequence of political competition and religious revolution. Because of this only, this cryptography started developing. Outside of Europe, after the end of the Muslim Golden Age at the hand of Mongols, cryptography remained comparatively undeveloped. Edgar Allan Poe used systematic methods to solve ciphers in 1840. In particular, he placed a notice of his abilities in the Philadelphia paper, inviting submission of ciphers, of which he proceeded to solve almost all. He invited, give me your cipher. People have sent him and he has solved all. So that was, you can say, he was one of the great cryptanalysts. So this cryptography, mechanically and electromechanical cipher machine were in wide use, and although where such machines were impractical, manual system continued in use. And the Enigma, one of the machine, I will tell you more about this Enigma and the Siraba. So from this place, 1800 to what this 1800 afterwards, actually the modern cryptography method started. Why it is modern? Why it become modern? Because all the pen and pencil based cryptography, all the manual based cryptography, they are being those concepts are being put on machines, and machine started doing encryption and decryption, and that's why the name, right? Machine cryptography came. Okay, so He later wrote an essay on methods of cryptography, which was proved useful as an introduction to novice British cryptanalysts attempting to break German codes and ciphery using World War I. These things are happened. Some of the glimpse I will let you know. So whole thing has been developed in a machine called teletype machine. So teletype cipher, in which a previously prepared key kept on paper tape is combined character by character with the plain text message to produce the cipher text. This led to the development of electromechanical devices as a cipher machine. Now, after doing this, giving you this basics of glimpse of these cryptographic things, I will present you the basic structure of the whole cryptographic communications. Because now onwards, I'm moving towards the more explanation for that. Whenever you want to send a message using some computing machine, then what will happen? Your plain text itself will get converted into a bit form or byte form, right? And once it's done, and then they will be transferred to the cipher text. That is cipher. That is called, that you are calling it a cipher bit. And it goes to the decryption engine. It will decrypt it and then again convert it to the plain text form output. So this is the basic system of secure communication. Here, two things are happening. Just you take care. One is secure channel. What is the need of secure channel? Because the encryption and decryption, it requires a secure key. That key has to be shared between both with the help of a secure channel. The secure channel could be a communication channel, it could be a manual channel also. But another problem what you can face is that there is a communication link, and that communication link is open. Since it is open, so anybody can eavesdrop it, anybody can listen it, and that's why this is calling eavesdropping or interception. And this is the problem between the cryptographer and cryptanalyst, because cryptanalyst does not know the knowledge of the secret key. He doesn't know knowledge of the secret key. He only gets cipher text, and from cipher text he will try to work and to get the plain text, and that's why the term cryptanalyst. So one term who is designing the cryptographic system and communicating it is cryptographer, and another term who is intercepting the message by eavesdropping and again trying to find out the plain meaning of that message is called cryptanalyst. So there is a parallel, this development, cryptography development and cryptanalyst development going on. And there is always big war between these two communities, right? So whole this cryptographic system, this communication system is being divided into two parts. One we are calling a block cipher, because we are discussing today in this lecture only mostly about symmetric key cryptography, because whole cryptographic system is being divided into two categories. One is called a symmetric key cipher and another is called a asymmetric key cipher. So asymmetric key cipher will be taught to you separately. Here I am going to tell you mostly about symmetric key cipher. The difference between these two ciphers are that in symmetric key, the key used by encryptor and decryptor are same. The key used by sender and receiver are same. But in asymmetric key cipher, this is not correct. Sender and receiver, they are using two different keys for encryption and decryption. So that will be discussed with you separately by my other colleagues. Okay. So symmetric key cipher, where the secret key is used by encryptor and decryptor, sender and receiver are same. And then this category of cipher has been further divided into two parts. They are called block ciphers and stem ciphers. So let us see what is block cipher. In block cipher, because I told you in my previous picture that whatever information you are wanted to send, they get converted into a bit stream. And then bit stream is getting in the form of a cipher, right? It may be a character bit by bit, and it may be a character by character. Character by character means 8-bit ASCII code. It will go in that form. So what is happening? At a time, either we take 64-bit or 128-bit or 192-bit or 256 at a time for encryption. Depending on what type of machine we are using, that part we will teach you slowly. Okay. And stream cipher, it is always this encryption is happening bit by bit or character by character. Character by character means byte by byte, right? This is the basic difference between block cipher and stream cipher. Now I am coming to after going this much introduction, I am coming to the terminology, the basic definition, which we must know. We know it, but we just not having a proper, giving proper thought to it. What is plain text? It is a original message to be encrypted. What is original message? Original message could be your any message. It could be any picture. It could be any video. It could be any audio, because everything is getting converted into bit stream. So this is our plain text. Any plain form of communicating matter is plain text. It may be audio, it may be video, it may be text, it may be a picture, right? Ciphertext, when this audio, video, text message get converted into another form, cipher, that is also in the form of bits, then that is called ciphertext. The encrypted message is called ciphertext. So message doesn't mean only text message. Message means every type of message. Please keep it. In ciphering or encryption, the process of converting plain text into ciphertext is called enciphering or encryption, right? And this being done with the help of an encryption algorithm. And this encryption algorithm requires two inputs. What the two inputs are? The plain text and the secret key. Understood? Just now I explained you earlier. Deciphering or decryption algorithm. The process of recovering the plain text from ciphertext is called deciphering algorithm. And this deciphering algorithm again required two input, the ciphertext and the secret, right? And the process of the science of studying enciphering and deciphering technique, the science or process of studying enciphering and deciphering technique is called cryptography, right? And the science of studying ciphertext to get the plain text without the knowledge of the key or attack against cryptographic system, it is called cryptanalysis, right? So both are always fighting each other, the cryptographers and the cryptanalysts. Okay, and these two subjects, cryptography and cryptanalysis, when it is taught together, they are mixed together. That is called the subject, main subject. It is cryptology. So cryptography is not a only thing. Cryptology is the main subject where you or anybody, any practitioner must understand the basics of cryptography as well as cryptology. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's clear.
Good. Now, some basic principle I want to let you understand. All this thing I am doing what for? And how it can be maintained. We are doing it for the purpose of security. So what is the thing? What is the main part of those encryption and decryption through which I am getting the security? For that purpose, Kirchhoff's, Sir Kirchhoff's in 1883 has given a very nice understanding. He always told to cryptographer, never underestimate the power of the cryptanalyst. Never underestimate. So you need to design a system so that encryption and decryption is being done only by friendly communication. A third party who doesn't aware of the key should not be able to break the system. And for that reason, the strength of the system, that is the secrecy strength of the system, must lie in the key itself, not on the design part of the mathematical part of the system. Only the key which is being used for a particular message, that should not be known to anyone. And the whole strength lies in the key. That same thing is written here. So the strength of the cipher system depends on keeping the key information secret, not the algorithm. Algorithm is known to everyone, right? So that is called Kirchhoff's principle. And that principle is given in 1883, and that principle is valid till now, and it will remain valid forever for symmetric system, right? Now, some of the cryptanalyst techniques, that is attacker techniques, who want to find plain message from your cipher text, I'm going to just explain you. I cannot explain completely, but naturally I will let you understand these types. So there could be many types of attack, but mostly all the types of attacks are categorized in these 4 categories. What are they? Cipher text attack only. This is the most powerful attack. Means you are having only cipher text in your hand, and from that cipher text, you are trying to get the plain text. That is called cipher text only attack. There is something known as known plain text attack. What is this known plain text attack? Known plain text attack means you have some pair of known plain text and corresponding cipher text. So could you study this and make yourself sure if for any new ciphertext you will be able to break it or find the new key? If it is so, that comes under known plain text attack. Third, chosen plain text attack. It means you have selected some plain text, and for that plain text, suppose you also have the corresponding ciphertext. And again, by understanding these two, could you be able to get the plain text? Chosen ciphertext attack only, the same philosophy. So let us see one by one. Ciphertext only attack. What is the definition I am putting here? Given a ciphertext C, question, what is the plain text M? So encryption scheme is completely insecure. Any encryption scheme is become completely insecure if cannot resist ciphertext only attack. But that is the first property is to be tested by the cryptographer. It means what I told just now a few minutes back, that you have to study the subject as a cryptologist, not as a cryptographer or not as a cryptanalyst. You have to study the subject as a cryptology. Means you need to have the knowledge of designing as well as analysis both. Known plain text attack. Here, some plain text and ciphertext pair are known, and a new ciphertext given to you. Apart from that, what is the plain text of the ciphertext? Can you find out? Or what is the secret key in use? Can you find out? If it is so, good. If it is not, it means system is quite strong. You are nothing able to get. Chosen plain text attack. Some you are knowing the some message which is known to you, which you have selected, particularly the message M1, M2, Mk. They are chosen by the adversary, and a new ciphertext C is given to him. Can he do that? By understanding this M1, C1, M2, C2, Mk, Ck pair, can he find out the new key for the new ciphertext? No. If it is able to find out, it means the system is weak. System can be broken. And then finally, example of, I'm just giving one example of this fusion plain text. It was in 1942. The US cryptanalysts, they found that Japan was planning to attack on AF. And the AF is nothing but it is a code form of Midway Island. So what they did, they sent this information to Pentagon that your the Japanese are planning to attack on Midway Island. US forces in Midway sent a plain message that their fresh water supplies were low, to verify that whether it is correct or not. Shortly, US intercepted a Japanese ciphertext saying that AF was on low on water. It means they have confirmed that AF stands for Midway Island. And before Japan could attack the US have attacked them and completely destroyed them. So this is the power of cryptanalysis, And the war, during war situation, every country, when it moves with its army immediately demand that, are you going to provide me cipher cover or not? If there is no cipher cover, they will not move forward. War. The power of cipher, the power of cryptography or cipher is much more than any weapons. Many wars has been lost, has been won and lost because of this cryptography. All these things you can get in a historical development, right? If you all are interested, I will just refer one book. Please note down. Code Breaker. The book name is Code Breaker by David Kahn. Noted? Code Breaker by David Kahn. Have you noted it?
Noted, sir.
This book, if you find, it's a very costly book, but you can find it from here and there, and you try to read this book. This book will make you fundamentally clear about all cryptographic problems. Okay, this is a very fantastic book. Now, as I discussed with you earlier in the beginning, the shift cipher, a simple substitution cipher, all these things. Now I'm showing you how those things are done without understanding the mathematics. Now they can be put in the form of a mathematics. As today, my colleague Dr. Alpana Misra has taught you about the modular mathematics. I will use the same mathematics to give the mathematical foundation for this cryptographic system. If you look at, I have written in this line, if you see in this line, is all my string alphabet, A to Z, right? I can give them numbers from 0 to 25. Or after giving the number, look, I started from D, E, F, G, H, I, and here A, B, C, S. This particular type of ciphering has been used by Julius Caesar, and he was controlling and communicating with his army from all this. Several hundred years has been used by many people. But since it was invented by Julius Caesar, and that's why the name Caesar cipher, substitution, right? It is a purely substitution cipher, nothing else. Look at, if my plain text is send reinforcement, what I will do? Simply S, What is S here? S का V, E, E का H, H, N, N का Q, Q, S का V again, right? If we look at the S is coming twice and both the time it is getting V, right? Similarly, you can take any letter like E. E is H here. E is again H here. E is again H here. E is again H here. It means monoalphabetic. That's why the name monoalphabetic, right? And if I want to see it mathematically, then my ciphertext means T. Means suppose this is my ciphertext. So V is equal to EKP. That is P plus K. P plus K means S plus K कितना है 4. S क्या है? S is 18. 18 plus 4. 18 plus 4. 18 plus 4. S is what? S I could not. S is 18. 22. 22 mod 26. It is giving you something 4. S is 18. Sorry. 18 plus 4, 22. What is my 22? V. Why it is V? Because 3 letters shift. 0, 1, 2, 3 is 4. 18 plus 3, 20, 18 plus 4. 4, you have 4 means 18, 3 shift, na? 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 22. 22, sorry, 21. 21 is getting V. V. Similarly, you can do it for all letters, applying this. And if I go for my plain text again, I want to get my plain text. Suppose I wanted to get V plain text. What is V? V is 11. 11 minus 11. And what is C I got here? 11. No, it is not 11. Take a C. C, what is V? V is 21. V is 21. 21 minus 3, 18. 18 is yes. For this V, you are getting yes. Similarly, you can try for all. Okay. It means it is nothing but a simply shift of 3 letters for each one and going for a mod 26. So this whole thing has been put here in the form of a mathematical formula. This is my encryption table and this is my decryption equation. If you look at what is the beauty of it is that K, you can choose many K. Because any K you can choose, right? And how many such things you can do, how many such permutation you can get? You can get totally about, because 26 letter, so 26 permutation you can get. 26 permutation means 4 into 10 to the power 26 key. Is that secure? Yes, it is secure. Because it follows the Kirchhoff's law. Because it follows the Kirchhoff's law, but it is not secure. Why? Then let me tell you the Kirchhoff's law principle. Sorry, I will tell you later. It is not secure. Why it is not secure? I will let you know just now. Because, see here, because of this language characteristics. What is language characteristics? E is for the most common letter followed by TRNIOS. They are the highest frequent letters in the English language. Other like Z, J, fairly rare. Simply double letters are very common. These are these double letters are very common. And these are the triple letters are very common. So this property the apprentice will use and try to understand what is the plain language, and he will get. that you can see, because this frequency table I have shown earlier, after I think it is again E, T, A, N, O, R, I, S, S, H, H, itineraries. So they are highly frequent. So what will happen? Look at this figure. This is the actual message, cipher message. This cipher message I solved here. How I solved here? I simply computed the frequency of each percentage frequency of each letter here, and I found the P is 35. It means the P is nothing but E. I will replace all P by E. All P by E. Similarly, E itineraries R P by Z. Like this, I will go on replacing here. And after replacement, I'm using this power, the second letter, 2-letter frequency. I will see ZW. It means ZWP is D. Go on trying on this, and the whole message can be broken, because if I'm able to get this substitution for just 30% letter, remaining I can guess because of my knowledge of English. Yes, anyone want to tell something? No. So the whole message, this whole message is nothing but this. It was disclosed yesterday that several informal but direct contacts have been made with political representatives of the Vietnam Congress in Moscow. This was the message. This was the live message which was intercepted and broken. So, idea of stronger cipher came by 1416 by Alberti. What Alberti told, use more than one cipher alphabet and switch between them when encrypting different letters. As a result, frequency of letters in ciphertext are similar, uniformly distributed, right? And it means if all letters have a similar frequency, it means it is moving towards what called polyalphabetic. Means each letter will get a different substitution each time they appear in the language. Developed into a practical cipher by Wignair, published. Wignair has done this knowledge, this ability forecast. He has developed published by Wignair in 1586. Now, the Wignair cipher. Treat letter as a number 0, 1, 2, 3, 25. Number theory notation, Zn is equal to 0 to n minus 1. Okay, Zn is equal to nothing but 0 to n minus 1. Definition, given a positive number p is equal to c is equal to z26n and k is equal to k1, k2, k3, km a key, we define this is the method. This is the method. Encryption and decryption. P1 plus K1, P2 plus K2, mod 26, and decryption C1 minus K1, CO2 minus K2, mod 20. And for this, what table it has computed? It has computed this table. Sorry, this table. This table is computed. If you look at it, is very close to the seizure cipher. A and A. First row it is as it is. Second row is starting from B as it is. Third row is just cipher. This fourth row D is nothing but a seizure cipher. You can see, you can match it. Like this, he has make a table. And from this table, he wanted to make the encryption and decryption. That is called Wignair encryption, a Wignair table. He see here the word, the message is supposed deceptive. Message is deceptive. DECAPTI, deceptive. He has used for a message deceptive, right? Plain text, we are discovered. Save yourself. This was the message to be encrypted. Okay. So D and V, D and W, the ciphertext is Z. You can see here. D and W. D and W. W. Ciphertext Z. right? Similarly, for all, you can do the encryption. And reverse way you will get the plain decryption. So encryption and decryption, they are happening with the help of this table. So what you do, you simply use this rule for encryption and this rule for decryption, create this table on your computer and start practicing it. It is doable. It is a very simple program. You can write this program and do it on your own, right? Okay. So electromechanical table. Now from here, it is actually the what we call actually modern. We are moving towards modern cipher from here onwards, because whatever table you have seen, it is all A to Z. It is all the nothing but the some permutation of A to Z. So that permutation of A to Z, we started writing in the form of a cylindrical some cylinder, and on the surface edge of the cylinder, we have written this. Okay, and then those things are getting connected with the help of some machines and all. So you can see how it is happening. Machine consists of a set of independently rotating cylinders through which electric pulses can flow. Cylinders has 26 pins and 26 output pins. With multiple cylinders, the one farthest from the operation input rotates the pin position with the each key stroke. With 3 cylinders, how many possibility? 26 power cube. This many possible substitution alphabets used with the system. With 4 cylinders, this will increase. With 5 cylinders, this will happen. So why I talk about 3, 4, 5? Because with 5 cylinder, one machine has been made, and that was very successful machine. That was called Typex. Right? With 3 cylinders, there was one machine which has been developed that we are going to discuss now. And this is the concept. This concept has given the basic mathematics for understanding, and finally the DES, the most popularly known data encryption standard machine, was based on this principle. Now you can see here, it is a 3-cylinder system. If you look at what is happening, my letter A, in first cylinder it is showing 24. Where it is going after shift? It is going to again 24. Here again, by the way, 24, going to 24, 24 is 17, and finally it has gone to 17. So I have pressed A and got E as a output in 3-cylinder movement. If I use more cylinder, then you can understand in what way this is happening. Okay, and the speed of each cylinder also kept in a different, they are not same. Like you can see here, the first cylinder is slow, second is medium rotor, and the last one is fast rotor. So this was the machine initially made. Okay, but as I told you, the cryptanalyst can break all these messages which I have discussed earlier. What the cryptanalysts are doing, they have done it because they have studied the invariant properties of the machines language. Distribution of single, digraph, and trigraphs are fixed. Repetition of pattern words are also there found. If the above are probabilistically comparable, then they are called weak system and can be broken immediately. Example, all monoalphabetic linear simple substitution, functional simple substitution in general or classical system, they can be broken with the only help of language statistics that I have shown you in the example also. Later, all polyalphabetic system, linear simple substitution, all transposition and matrix-based cipher system like Hill cipher, mechanical and electromechanical system, they are like Enigma and Typex, which we'll see now. Invariant properties, they are a strong system. Yeah, you can say a strongly weak system. They are not strong, but a strongly weak system. It is a definition, mathematical definition, so don't get confused. For all this, there is one test got developed, that is a kappa mathematics. And this kappa test gives us a lot of information about the cipher. What is kappa test? Simply you have a series of text, another group of series of text, another, and then you do only one thing. You compute the positions t and t days. If they are common, you choose the value 1. If they are not common, you put the value 0 and compute this value, kappa. And this kappa will tell you kappa of 2 messages less than 1. If it is less than 1, then t and t are not equal. If they are not equal. If it is equal, then it will become 1. You can see from mathematics above. From this, you can understand. Kappa, if kappa value is close to some value ks, where ks varies from language to language, this value ks has been computed, and this value is different from different languages. For English language, the kappa is fixed. This is 0.0675 for plain English language text. And kappa is 0.038 for a English text, random English text, the cipher English text. If you divide this by this, it is approximately equal to 2 for every language. It means this one kappa mathematics it gives you values about 2 for each language. KS will differ, KR will different, but their ratio will be around 2. And that is the point it has been used to study understand the language of the cipher itself, because you are getting a cipher from different country. How will you know in which language the ciphering has been done? First, you have to recognize the language, and the language can be determined from the cipher. Another application of kappa is finding the period of polyalphabetic cipher. As you've seen in the Vignette cipher, I am using the term deceptive, some 10, 11 letter key. How to find out the key? If I am able to find out the key length, I will be able to guess the key, because that many letter words are available in the English. I will search it and use it. What is length, right? So finding the period of polyalphabetic cipher also is being seen. So if Pi, the probability of the appearance of the ith character in source Q, let D be the period of the polyalphabetic encryption C of plain text P, then CKD cyclically by KD positions are from the same source. We can the source is recognized. Determination of identical source. The kappa test is not limited to single character. It can be also devised by double character. Third application, determination of identical source. Identical source means same, because suppose same system is being used from 2 different countries, and I'm getting the cipher from 2 different countries. So how, if I able to finalize they are using the same machine, same similar source, then my job will be very simple for analysis. In that case, kappa TT dash is greater than QQ dash, and this is the fact. So I wanted to only tell you here that this kappa statistics is only one mathematical tool which can give you many information: identical source, identical language, identical and recognition of the language. All these things you can do from this one source. Another mathematics used that is called index of coincidences. Index of coincidences, you just simply put one message below another message and see how many places they are similar, and then we will compute this measure, and this measure is called measure of roughness. If measure of roughness is quite high, it means it is a polyalphabetic test, and it is difficult to recognize, and this is the formula for getting that. Okay, so this measure of roughness and IC, index of coincidences, will be very easily computed with the help of this statistics. This is the computation of IC, index of coincidences, and this is the length of the key. P is equal to 1, index is this, P is equal to 2, P is equal to 10 means very high, very lengthy language. It means this, it means it is highly polyalphabetic test. So this can be also used for understanding the polyalphabetic and other tests. There are some more methods that is called Kaspersky test in the ciphertext on periodic polyalphabetic substitution. Ciphers the in-phase repetition, if exists, should occur at the distance equal to the multiple of the period. In this way also we can find out the period of the ciphertext. Percentage of coincidence, again, same thing. From the index of coincidence, we can see any two plain text. If we write one below other, the other must have at least 7% common letters. You exploit the same here also. If we consider the collective percentage of coincidence for different shifts and its multiples, then we can maximum value corresponding to the period. But there are so many methods, Kaspersky method, percentage of coincidence method, Kappa statistics. All these methods will confirm you what is the period of the key. And once you know the period of the key, then analysis of the ciphertext become very simple, right? These are the find the length of the key, Kaspersky test, index of coincidence, divide the message into that many shifts, cipher encryption, use frequency analysis to solve the resulting of the cipher shift, how I will already explained you. And now I'm moving to the one of the basic machine called Enigma. Because those philosophies which I taught earlier, they have been put in with the form of a machine and putting the whole thing on the rotor. But the rotor has been combined together and giving you pulses for other letters that has been put in the form of a machine, and that is called Enigma. So this is the first electromechanical machine which has been developed for ciphering, and it was patented by Arthur Servius in 1918, introduced in German army in 1920s. Enigma. So let me tell you some basic history of the Enigma. In the Enigma machine, if you look at, there are three basic part. One is keyboard, and there is display panel, and last is mixing unit. So for typing in plain text and ciphertext display, the result appears plain text and ciphertext both on this screen. You can see here, this is your keyboard, this is your keyboard, and this is your screen where it is appearing, right? And mixing unit to produce ciphertext from plain text and vice versa. The soul of the Enigma are the rotors, as I explained you. This is the rotors, and on the edge of these rotors, the alphabets are written A, B, C, D, up to Z, all written. The A is going to B, B is going to A, whatever it is. In what way they are connected with the help of this camera. Now this is your keyboard, right? This is your keyboard. You can see how they look like. Whatever you press here, that will appear on the here. Whatever you press here, that will appear here. Okay. And then in this way, the structure of the machine, you can see how they have been. Enigma rotors, how they look like. These are the three rotors, 1, 2, and this is one more, three rotors, which are getting entangled and getting used. Now, this is the Enigma switching board. Switching board means it is some sort of key where you have to put the machine so that in what way they respond to the creation of the ciphertext. Okay, base setting is determined by the setting of the switching board. Switching board A is to L, P is to R, T is to D, B to W. This was the structure. Order of the rotors: second, third, first. Means second will move, then third will move, then first will move. This is the order. Initial position of the rotors. Suppose Q, C, Q. When you will at the front you will see these three letters Q, C, Q. Size of the key space is quite high, 253, that we can compute. Okay, and then plain text is typed on the keyboard and ciphertext characters are read from the display panel. Okay, so this man, you must have heard about this name, Marion Rajewski, police mathematician. He was a spy, sells the manual This spy have sells the manual of the military enigma to the French intelligence services in 31. Based on the information obtained from the manuals, the Allies built a copy of the enigma based on the manual. They believe that enigma is unbreakable and give the copy to the police, Poland. And the Poland hired 20 mathematicians from University of Punjab and selected the best three. Among them, one is this gentleman, Marian Rajaskit. The Germans used a two-level key hierarchy, daily, valid for 1 day, used to encrypt the message, and the message key encrypt a single message, changed for every message. This is the two-level of key they are using. Order of the rotors and setting of the switching board is the same as the daily key. Initial position of the rotors are supposed to be randomly chosen. If reliability region's message key was encrypted twice with a daily key, then this was the structure will come out of the machine. And from here, they wanted to understand the whole philosophy of this. So Rajaski realized that weak point in the is the repetition of the message. And the same key, if same key is repeated, then it is providing more weakness. He developed a method to break the enigma based on this observation. He automated the method, built a machine using several copies of the enigma. Due to the ticking noise, it was called a bomb. Thanks to Rajaski, the police intelligence services could routinely break the German communication from 1930. Within 2 years, he has developed a method and routinely breaking the whole machine. Machine means his cipher coming from the machine and is getting his plane from his machine, which he has developed as a cryptanalyst. In 1938, German strengthened the enigma. They added 2 numerator. Now the cylinder has gone from 3 to 5. Number of characters swapping on the switching board, they have changed from 6 to 10. And size of the key space has increased from to this level, very high key space. The Germans prepared to invade Poland. The Poles decide to reveal their knowledge to the Allies, to the England actually. Allies means England was one of the Allies. And the documentation of the bomb is transported to London. And Germany invades Poland September 1, 1939. And in London, every breaking was happening in Bletchley Park. And who is the main pioneer of Bletchley Park? You can understand. The British developed the bomb and invent new breaking technique, silly. The German enigma operator often used very simple message keys, such as consisting of neighboring characters on the keyboard, Q, W, E, B, N, M. This pattern he has studied. And then the requirement of the rotor, because what is the order of the rotor? 1, 5th, or 3rd, 2nd, 4th was not allowed. These 2 orders not allowed, other orders are allowed for changing the daily key. In fact, this requirement decreased the number of possible orders to be tested by the Allies. Similarly, neighboring characters were not allowed to be swapped. And then Alan Turing joined the Bletchley Park in September 1939. You must have heard the name of Alan Turing, great mathematician, and you can say one of the pioneer of computer. His task was to find new methods, break the enigma, which does not take advantage of the repetition of the message key at the beginning of the message. He solved the problem. The new methods exploited the fact that some messages contain known words as well as known positions. German messages were very structured. Every evening 6 p.m. they went to send a weather forecast, and it contains the word weather. They caught this word weather, and this has become the how to knowing the positions. Based on Turing work, the British built new bomb machines called Victory and Angus Day. Okay, and Germans changed their key exchange method in May 1940. So this was, you can see how the war is going between the cryptographer and cryptanalyst. Bletchley Park played a very important role in the victory of the Allies. And because of that, only Allies won, because they are able to read all messages of German, what is their plan, what is their military plan, what they are going to do, everything they are reading in advance, and accordingly they are taking this step, and that's why they own the war. Okay, so according to the some historian estimates, World War II could have been lasted till 1948 without breaking up the enigma. It is enigma that World War has been stopped a bit early. After the World War, the bomb was disassembled and all the related documents were destroyed. The cryptographers have basically returned to their normal civil life, and Alan Turing Computer Society, that was a great scientist, has gone. Now, till now I have told you about the ciphers. Generally, people make a confusion that codes and cipher both are same. It is not that. Codes and cipher are both are different. So that's why I wanted to make you understand the code. Code that has not gone under any transformation super encipherment is called plain code. And what is code? Code that has gone under some transformation or super encipherment, that is called in cipher code, in code. And code is what? Allotting some 3-digit, 4-digit, 3-letter, 4-letter words to the plain language. If you look at here, I've taken a language here. A celebration, celebrated, a country, this, science, ethics. And for each, I've given a 4-letter code or 4-digit code. It is up to you, whatever one you can choose, 4-digit, 5-digit. But generally, in military communication, 4-digit codes are getting used. Yeah, if you look at this code, I have given, it is a simply an example. Actually, it comes in the form of a book, and that book contains all the likely plain text comes in making up a message. Now this, I've taken the message. 28th Feb is celebrated as National Science Day throughout the country. That is the, everybody knows. 28th, if you look at 28 is what? 6930. 6930. TH. Sorry. TH is what? 6744. You can say 744. Like this, I have allotted a code to entire message. This is my black one is the code. Then I have used a random key generation, which is simply generating a numbers. And from that number, I've chosen this automatically, right? And if you do the simple addition, like 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. So I will take only 6 one, I will discard. 5 plus 3, 8. So this red one is my enciphered code. And this will be communicated to the receiver side. When the receiver receives it, right, he also have the same random number key generation. Same, you can see the same he has put it. Then do the reverse thing. What is the reverse thing? 9 minus 3 is 6. 16 minus 7 is 9. We got the plain code also. So this type of encryption and decryption is called codebook system. It is called codebook system, which is generally used in military. Okay. So if the code equivalent stands in the mixed order opposite to the plain text variable, you can see in this. So cryptanalysis of coded system, construction of similar RNG to get rid of super encipherment is very, very difficult. Unless you have the same RNG which generates the same thing, how will you do it? You may generate some other, but not the same. That is the problem. Removal of super encipherment is necessary, but not sophisticated. Construction of partial codebook requires plenty of enemies plain spaces, plenty of intercepted coded message, enormous experience of handling the codebook. So this is a very, very tough system, very, very tough and hard system to break it. Now, everything what I have discussed, that finally, if you talk about computers, then they are finally converted into 0 plus 1 and 1 plus 0 XORing system. This is what exactly happening in the computer, in computer-based communication, right? So this can be easily done. It is very easily done. In coding is nothing but y is equal to xi XOR ki, where xi is the ith bit of the plain text and y is the ith bit of the cipher. Ki is the ith bit of the uniformly random key. Whatever I have just shown it here, same thing, same concept. I'm putting it here in the form of a bit stream because we are looking for a computer-based secure communication, right? Assume that adversary observes ciphertext y, as all possible keys are equally likely to this that has been used to produce y, all possible plain texts are equally likely to be message. This intuition was formalized by Claude Shannon in 19. He has given this, and practically this means the key must be as large as the compressed message, and it is a difficult phenomenon. Very how to create and send it. The one-time pad provides unconditional security, but it is impractical. And in practice, we are happy with the cipher that provides conditional security. Okay, the cipher cannot be broken with less than a given amount of resources, computing power. Practical ciphers are not even proven to be conditionally secure. Well-known examples are DES and RSA that we will discuss with you separately as of my other colleague. So this type of codebook has been made, and it was just requires a following to be added more message, a truly random number string, as long as the message pad is used once and destroyed always. Once you are using a particular pad, then it was destroyed. It was co-invented in 1999 by Gilbert Vernon and Joseph Maugarney. He was Sigma Crop. Claude Shannon proved it to be mathematically unbreakable in 1925. It is the only unbreakable cipher, that is one-time pad. First used in 1923 by German Foreign Office and used extensively by spies because pads were easily concealed and other cipher devices were not needed. Pads were often shrunk to a very small size and made of flammable material. If you are caught, if soldier is caught, he will simply burn it. Finish it. There are certain machines were made on this behalf. AT&T marketed Vernon cipher in 1920 with little success until World War II. The US SIGDOT used the Vernon patent. SIGDOT used military patent from 1925 to 1959. Used in the White House. President Truman personally typed the SIGDOT message on SIGDOT and sending. Usually reversed for highly labeled secure messages. Require the same random tape for sender and receiver. Teletype machines are not classified. The one-time tapes are top secret. Okay. Examples of some teletype one-time machines are, these are the several machines. I simply named it here. US SIGDOT, Norway, Hagelin T55, German T77, German T05, British BID, Dutch Ecolex, Canadian Rocklex, Russian M100, Czechoslovakia as SD1. There are several messages they have destroyed. Problem is producing, distributing, destroying tapes was a burden and a security risk. Limiting use to military and diplomatic applications that cannot be used widely. Okay. Reuse of one-time pad is a problem because it will give you help to broke the system. It was done in a 1.5 million total diplomatic messages sent to 1942 to 48. One message was intercepted. 30,000 used duplicate pads and 2,900 partially broken. Most duplicate pads were used from 1945 to 1945 during wars. US decryption showed Russian spying on Manhattan Project spies in almost every major military and diplomatic organization, including White House OSS MI6. So 349 American mentioned about half of the anti-fight message. So point is this only point I'm making it here, that pads cannot be reused. If you are using it, you are putting it. Second, non-random pads and is German office in World War II. This is also, if you are not providing random pads, then it will again create a problem. That these are some examples I'm showing to you. Electronic emission tempest, first discovered in AT&T in 1943. Electronic emission from the keywords, printers, voice, etc. can be captured and decrypted. That is another electronic tempest you must have heard earlier. One-time pad, absolutely secure for high message. Burden on distributing, managing test limits useless usefulness. But one-time pad may be returned to prominence when the quantum cryptography is getting developed nowadays. It means one-time pad again will get a prominence. Okay, so these are the certain attacks: side channel attack, time memory attack, distinguished attack, algebraic attack, correlation attack, guess and determine attack, linear masking attack, related key attack, divide and connector attack. And this figure I am showing you the development between cryptographer and cryptanalyst. If you look at this figure from 3000 BC to 1854, if you look at, the cryptanalyst has got an upper hand. Why they have got upper hand? Because at that time there was no much computing facility with them. Once the computing facility is increases, then cryptographer will take the round. Next, you see it, the next figure here. Again, cryptanalyst was having upper hand, 1854, and at present situation in 1970, when the public key cryptography has come into picture, after that they're always showing this swing. Sometimes they are up, sometimes they are below. But the struggle is a very, very systematic war going between the cryptographer and cryptanalyst. So in 1978 onwards, symmetric key cryptography, asymmetric key cryptography, cryptographic hash function, user and message authentication, these things have changed the scenario. But still, cryptanalysts are in a much better situation because they are doing cryptanalysis in back, not in front. But cryptographers are making their point because of the computing power, best computing power in hand. That's all I wanted to communicate to you today. Okay, and I think you have a good patience in hearing me. And still, if you want to have some questions, you can put it forward.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful talk. The session is open for questions. Audience, you may ask your questions. Sir, if there are no questions, people were saying that they had Khalid, if you are there, we would like to hear from you. Khalid.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Khalid, you said
Yeah.
that you have a lot of confusion earlier.
Yeah, it was the last session we had. Yeah. So as I asked you yesterday, ma'am, that we need to get this program material. Can we get that?
Yeah, sure.
So at the end of this session, we can revision for the same. That's why I asked her.
Okay. I will request the presenters.
Okay.
I will request the presenters, the resource person, to share their presentations, and I will share it with you. We will share it with you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Elvery, any question? Elvery, if you have any question. Sir, thank you so much for this talk. And dear participants, we will resume our session at 1:30 now.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
We will take a break of 40-45 minutes, and we will resume our session at 1:30, which will be taken by Dr. Alpna. And after that, there will be a session which will be a hands-on session.
There is no question. There is no question from my presentation.
No, sir, no question from your presentation.
Okay.
Okay, so we will be having our session 7, which will be a hands-on session. So I insist that everyone who is present in the session, make sure that you are sitting in front of your computer, because we will be having a hands-on. So we will practice few tools. We will see how the tools that sir has talked about in his presentation, how will it work? For example, Wigner code. So I'll show you certain examples, taking certain examples where we can see how those codes are generated. So online, these things are available. So just make sure that you are ready with your systems and not mobile phones, because it will be difficult. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for joining the session, and we will catch back again at 1:30 p.m. Thank you.